Good evening, and thank you for tuning in to another episode of SoundOn Television. I'm your host, Donyasha Jones, also known as Directed by Yash. Welcome to the set. We got on the set with us today. Introduce yourself.
Rich Hatcher, R&R Eyewear Excellence, also owner of Let Us Eat, and I also do a lot of private consulting as well.
Okay, so Let Us Eat, and you said some private consulting as well?
Yeah.
All right, so I got the opportunity to check out Let Us Eat.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I got the owner of Let Us Eat in the set today, on the set. So how did that venture come to be?
That was, I used to be at Pittsburgh Mills Mall, my eyeglass shop.
Okay.
And there was an opening in the food court.
Okay.
So I always, before that, I used to eat at this place downtown, and they had like, all these wild salads that were good.
Okay.
And I was like, yeah, I would do something like that. And the spot open. I talked to the manager. He's like, yo, I'll hook it up. Like,
okay.
You want to do something? So me and my wife, it's our business.
Okay.
We talked about it. So I was like, we just gotta get some money for it. So it's funny. I actually had a party at the spot in Penn Hills, and cause he let you rent the door. So I bought the door, and I took everything in there. That's how I used the money to open it up.
Wow.
So just took advantage of,
All right. So it took
resources, I guess you could say.
Absolutely. So you're an entrepreneur, you're consulting, you're dabbling in a couple of different ventures. You're a black man. You born and raised in Pittsburgh?
Yeah, yep, Penn Hills.
Okay, so Penn Hills. Okay. So success and failure as a black man and a black entrepreneur and a young guy. What failures did you experience to get to the level of success that you're at now, and were any of those failures you feel attributed to the color of your skin?
Man, a lot of the failures for real were just not listening to the people, who were there who helped me raise me, who would direct you, like most young people, we don't want to listen.
At all.
So a lot of my hiccups and mistakes were from stuff that was my parents, my brother, my aunt, it was all, that's why I realized it's really on me.
Okay.
Of course being black, there are barricades with some things, but you just gotta bust right through them.
Absolutely.
The biggest thing was really myself.
Okay.
I think now, where we're at now, I tell a lot of young people I know too, right now it's just getting through the barricade of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like, there's only so much. Once we get to a certain level, that's when really the pressure as far as the color of your skin, I think, starts to really kick in. Initially, they'll give you, they're like, all right, let's see what you can do.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So a lot of it was just getting through stuff, myself, and learning through stuff. And you got to go through stuff.
Absolutely.
Definitely went through a lot of stuff, especially with business. Like, a lot of money got wasted on stuff that I thought was what I needed, and then I learned I didn't need it.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So
listen, I'm in that boat.
It's all about what you do in particular. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. So self-sabotage is really something that young entrepreneurs should look out for in the beginning stage. Is like proactively listening.
Yeah.
You are basically your greatest competition. So,
yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Big time. Like it's and listen to those who have done it too. Not just anybody. Like the restaurant all the time, the staff, but hey, we need to put a vegan buffalo wrap on there. People keep asking about it. So instead of just doing that, I'm like, well, how many people asked? 2 people. I was like, how long? The past month. All right, well, we've seen 2,000 people.
Right.
I'm not gonna make that big change because of 2 people.
Right, absolutely.
But back before, somebody said a suggestion, we're changing stuff.
Okay.
Where, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then we realized, like, that's not how it goes. Like, we're the professional. Let's act like the professional. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
That's another thing I learned in business. Like, numbers don't lie.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if enough people ask for it, then yeah. But if it's not really there,
can't fake that.
Right, exactly.
You can fake likes, you can fake views, but you can't fake business.
Yeah.
It's either there's either a profit or there's a loss.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's really that simple. People always ask me about business, like, how'd you get started? I mean, I'm sure there's loans out there, there's grants, I didn't get none of those.
Right.
I told you how I started that business, you know what I mean? And my eyeglass company, I started that by, you know, selling glasses out the trunk of my car, you know what I mean?
Wow.
And just making connections and with the labs and with people. Connections are huge.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And sticking with it. That's the biggest thing.
I'm glad you said that.
We're not making money for a long time.
I'm glad you said that. That triggered a thought. Would you consider yourself an introvert or extrovert?
I'm both. I'm more introverted as I get older.
Okay, as you get older, more introverted. So you were saying like connections, networking is extremely important for the shyer entrepreneur. How important is it for you to push yourself outside of your comfort zone? Can you be successful and shy?
Not initially.
Okay.
Unless you're Michael Jordan. Unless you're the best at what you do.
Okay.
Then that speaks for itself.
Good answer.
We ain't all Michael Jordan.
Period.
You know what I mean? So, you got to put the time in. You know what I mean? I'm more now to where I can have a conversation with one person of very high importance to dictate a lot of things.
Okay.
So I don't got to have a whole event or a whole this or that. But that's from time of doing stuff like that. I throw a party. Like, I did a lot of my, business initially outreaching.
Okay.
And then you see what's good outreach and what's bad outreach.
Okay.
Who's good, who help you progress, who won't. And then you just, I know it's a common phrase, but you learn to work harder. Smarter, not harder.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I mean?
Absolutely. The phrase the early bird gets the worm. Are you an early riser? Do you see an importance in having a day in and day out routine in order to be successful initially, or even right now? Is it like you get more laxity once you get a little bit more successful? Do you have to be a morning person to be a go-getter?
It depends. If you're on clubs, you don't have to.
That's
but it's all about what you do.
what your venture is. Okay.
But before you get that club or that bar, you do.
Okay.
You need to, whatever it is, yeah, you got to have that capability. And then once you get what you need, you gauge those things towards what you're doing. And what you said too, like once people get to a certain level, they start to feel comfortable. That's the most dangerous thing you can do is be comfortable. Like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, you don't want to do too much.
Right.
So you got to know your boundaries. I have a lot of people, a lot of family, a lot of friends that say, oh, you're doing too much. But then I have people who tell me that, nah, you're doing what you're supposed to. And then at the end of the day, what matters is my wife and my family. They tell me, look, we know how to break it down to where the time is spent. I spend a lot of time, a lot of hours. A lot of hours. I still do, but now I make the hours work for me now.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like I'm working right now, but I'm here with you.
Absolutely.
So I'm getting paid drinking XO. So,
yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? So, but that was not always the case.
Correct. So to the seasoned, more I'd say professional entrepreneur, we kind of talked about the entry level. If you're a beginner, I feel like you touched on some intermediate. If you're climbing up to success, what you would have to do, eliminating those excuses, making sure that you're networking, depending on your venture, your day-to-day is going to look a lot different. But as a paid, now advanced professional entrepreneur, what are you digesting? What are you doing to stay uncomfortable, to stay educated? Are you still picking up different skills, and like what characteristics? I know I'm asking a whole bunch of different questions, but just to like map it out plainly to the advanced person who maybe they're 25 years old, maybe they're 35 years old, maybe they're 55, and they feel like they made their goal happen. They set that goal, they accomplished it, now they can retire. What would you say to them?
Again, unless you got millions in the bank,
keep getting it.
Keep going at it. I'll never stop. Make it work for you. You know what I mean? Like for me, for example, be a perfect example. People like to, let's say you make this money, get a vacation home in Miami, right? And it's paying for a vacation home out of your regular money.
Right.
I would never do that. I would have a vacation in Miami, but while I'm not there, be Airbnb. It would be, it's gonna, because it's paying itself off.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because the worst thing you can do is be comfortable, because money can go in a heartbeat.
Like that.
No matter how much it is, you know what I mean? Because people, it's funny, I asked some good friends of mine. I used to always joke with everybody, like, I'm the brokest of all my friends, which I was. And, but I would ask them questions like, because they be in financial trouble. I'm like, how are you in financial trouble? I make way less than you. My one friend told me, he's like, you know what it is? Because you start to make more, you get that raise, all right, you got $15,000 more per year. All of a sudden now you can afford, say the Ford, now you're gonna to get a Volvo truck.
Yeah.
And then your wife get a raise of $10,000. Okay, now you want to get the small Beamer.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And then next thing you know, somebody lose a job.
Absolutely.
And that payment and that this and that.
That don't go nowhere.
And I'm like, so he told me, he's like, whatever you do, whatever you make, like, just map it all out. So we map everything out.
Okay.
That's important. That's the biggest part. Just because we get it don't mean we gotta. When you get it, you still don't have it.
Oh, absolutely.
If you start to know people with money, real money, when you think you got it, you're not even close. So you gotta treat it a certain way.
Okay.
And you even gotta make a lot of money to have money or wealth.
Right.
Because if you're good with saving, you're good with your credit, you're good with, you know what I mean, things like that. That's what really matters.
Absolutely.
I know people who make $300 a year and, you know, they don't work for a couple months, they're hurting.
Yeah.
Because they're, you know, living beyond their means.
Living beyond their means.
Yeah,
man. This episode, you must be talking directly to me and my companion, because I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? Every single year, Visionary Media, which is SoundOn Television, we're gonna make a profit from SoundOn Television. This is something that we do because we enjoy having conversations, and I enjoy video marketing, and I feel as though podcasting, vlogging, all these things, this is commercial advertisement for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So many times you get known for what it is that you do, but people don't get to know you. So this space is so that people can get to know you, and so that you can get to know other people and inspire other people, because sometimes we get wrapped up in what we're doing. Initially, when you start, your mission is to be an inspiration, but once you start getting those paychecks, sometimes we forget to give back to those who are looking up to us. And so with Visionary Media, you know, we made some profits last year. We had set a goal for ourselves, and we went beyond that goal. Nice. So the goal for this year was for us to double that, and then in another year I'd like to triple that, all the way up into being able to self-employ and then employ other people. But like you said, I always notice that when I get more, I never really get more because I start to spend more, and so that's so crucial, guys.
And some of that is very important. Is who you surround yourself with. Okay. Right. So, and this is all by chance, just from putting in work. Started, you know, because I do a lot of stuff with charity too, like a lot of charity work. I started meeting a lot of people through that. And you just start to see and learn and get to meet different people and see how they move. Yeah. And when you see that, it makes me like, I'm not buying. I don't rock with my Kia. Yeah. I'm not buying none of this and that. Like, that's nothing right now. Like, that's a bigger goal X amount of years down the road. Absolutely. But if I stay with maybe some friends that I ain't friends with no more, my mind is short term. Yeah. And, you know, I'm going to, as soon as I get a couple dollars, I'm going to spend it or waste it. Yeah. But who you put yourself around is huge. Huge. You can't grow if your circle ain't growing. You know what I mean? I got a good circle, man. I got my man John. Yeah. I got my brother, my homies, my family. We push each other. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Like, what can we do better? What can we do better? You can always do something better. Oh, absolutely. You know what I mean? I always tell people I'm not great at one thing. Yeah. I'm decent at a lot though. that can go a long way. I'm not great at one thing. You know what I mean? So. Absolutely. All right. So let me jump into. Sometimes we like to go into quotes. We like to go into definitions. Favorite entrepreneurial quote of mine is, entrepreneurship is neither a science nor an art. It's a practice. That's Peter Drucker. What do you do to practice? What does your practice look like? That's a great quote. My practice is, how can I add, how can I control what I do a little bit further? Okay. Like, how can I'll give you an example. My restaurant, like, next time I'm working on is a greenhouse. Okay, beautiful. Because you know, we go buy the food, that's good, but I can better us practice. Let me get this so we can supply our own vegetables. Absolutely. Two things. We definitely save money. Yeah. Make more money out of it. Yeah. More importantly, now I'm a botanist now. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Absolutely. And it's funny, I actually went to school. I got my degree in biology. Okay. But I never did nothing with it that I thought I would. Stuff I used to be like, now it's like coming full circle. I asked
Yeah.
my mom and dad, hey, can you find this that botany book I got somewhere in your room somewhere? You know, I want to look up a couple of things.
Absolutely. So. Wow, that's beautiful. Absolutely. Okay, and then like as we're wrapping up here on the set today, what do you want people to know about you, about the business, and what can you say to Black people, to the Black community that can make us stronger and better entrepreneurs?
Support each other.
Mm-hmm.
Our money we don't spend our money in our community first.
Mm-hmm.
We go outside. Our dollar don't bounce one time.
Oh, absolutely.
Every community, they spend X amount of dollars for they spend outside the community.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we all do. I do it sometimes. We all do this.
Yeah.
I'm not going there, but we'll go right to McDonald's or Chipotle. Like, give it a shot.
Yeah.
We're not perfect. I'm not perfect.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So spend within. Because we do that, we're stronger as a people. So that's number one. Number two, just put the work in. Put the work in. If you really want something, go after it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm big on that. I got free game for day. I tell people I got a few young mentees that I help, and I'll give you the game for free.
Yeah.
I'll give it to you for free, but it's words.
Right.
Because I never got a dollar.
Absolutely.
But I got so much advice from people.
Absolutely.
That's worth more than all. I still do it.
Absolutely.
So I would relay that. Like, that's more important than anybody. If I would have got money for my business when I started, I would have went out of business in 1 to 2 years.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I want to know the true feeling of having that money, because I didn't make it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So I made all my money. So I realized it's like I worked for it.
Right.
So it provided a whole different outlook. So just work hard. It's work hard. No excuses.
No excuses. I'm actually reading a book. Man, what's that? Actually, Brian Tracy. It's right there on the shelf.
No excuses. Yep. All right.
And as an entrepreneur myself, and like you said, having not just one thing that I'm just like great at, that I'm phenomenal at, but like having my hand in everything. My dad had taught me early on. When he out of college got a good paying job, and then found himself in a predicament where when the business closed down, it was like, we can either give you your severance or you can move.
Right.
Relocating wasn't an option because he's in ministry, and he started transitioning into a pastoral role and taking over a church in Washington, PA. And he told me, like, don't just have one job. You can't only have one source of income. You have to have multiple, because if that cash flow gets cut off, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, that's true, and that's true all the way. I mean, I know it's hard. You just gotta determine what means the most to you.
Correct.
I tell people that my dream ain't the same for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be honest with you. My dream is bust my behind for another 5 years, and then I'm still working, but I'm just traveling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, that's my goal. I'm not gonna wait till I'd rather sacrifice now and travel the rest of my life than just get my 2 weeks vacation a year and wait till I'm 65.
Yeah.
By then I can't do half the things I want to do. You know what I mean? So,
exactly.
But it's to each strong. Whoever, you know what I mean? I respect whatever somebody does. Whatever they truly want, whatever you want, go for it.
I like that.
Whatever's good for your family, do it.
I feel like we can tap out right there. That feels like the smooth outro. Whatever works for you. You know, you pinpointed a lot of great things, and we're excited to see where you are, you know, in the next year, 2 years, 3 years.
Thank you.
We'll check back in, you know what I mean?
All day. Like I said, I do stuff like this
right
all the time. I appreciate y'all for having me.
Absolutely.
Very, that's what I'm talking about, this professional atmosphere, interview. This is how it won't surprise me to see how things go for you in the next couple of years.
We appreciate that.
All right.
All right, well, we're checking out. Peace.